Hey, y'all, welcome back to another edition of Friday Productivity. I'm your host, Jason Will, real estate broker, Blueprint Realty Company. I think this one will probably be short and sweet. Maybe I'll get to rambling. You never know. But I think we're going to make this one our last productivity call of 2025. Can you believe it? Yes, it's here. I'm going to give you some advice to start. We're not going to finish strong. We're talking about starting fast right now. If you are not feeling a lot of wind in your sails, if you don't feel momentum building in your business, because things have been a little bit slow, I would say, September, October, pretty slow, picked up for me November, December, and I'm really starting to see activity like more showings, more buyer engagement, lead engagement. A lot of things seem to happen or be happening. I think we've got some positive headlines. We've got NAR putting out graphics about interest rates stabilizing, right around 6% next year. Stable is good. I know we'd all like to see rates maybe get to 5.5 and kind of stay there or somewhere in the fives, but stability is good as long as we don't have to deal with 7% interest rates. I think we're in good shape. The other thing that's happening is that there is some affordability, I would say, relief happening. You can see it at the pump. You're starting to see it places. This chaotic strategy we've had from the White House in terms of economic policy is starting to kind of level off. And, tariffs are being rolled back and things are just happening. Some of the other trade agreements are taking place, and it seems like things are leveling off. The other thing we got going for us is that Alabama is in a bit of a bubble. It is in the top 10 states that people are moving to, right? So, and there's people doing a lot of moving, y'all. I mean, there's people that are moving out of Florida. We're going to see, I really feel like we're going to see a mass exodus out of Florida into Alabama because of the homeowners insurance. People are just getting priced out. People are tired of their claims getting denied. It's just not worth it to be in Florida. And Florida is in a much different situation than we are in terms of market conditions. They're in a strong buyer's market. They've got too much inventory. So be on the lookout for that. I know, you're seeing all these headlines about Mamdani driving people out of New York City into areas like Palm Beach and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, so what? But there's a lot more that are going to be leaving that are coming. It's Florida is, if it doesn't figure out something with the homeowners insurance situation that's going on right now, Florida is going to be a playground for the rich. The uber elite, the people that can self-insure. Just kind of keep that in mind. Alabama is one of the most affordable states in the nation right now to move into. We've got a lot of job creation going on. It's a beautiful place to live, and we've got beaches, we've got lakes, we've got golf courses, we got hunting land, we got all kind of stuff. So very diverse market, very well-rounded, and a lot of people want to live and or own real estate in Alabama. All right, so if you are not feeling some wind in your sails from the positive press that's been, rolling down the pipe of late, then we need to figure it out, right? We need to figure out what's going on in your business, because I think you are probably ignoring some of the low-hanging fruit. I did in one of our prior videos, kind of fourth quarter prep videos, I was talking about what a great time of year it is to connect with folks about where they're going on a trip, maybe for Thanksgiving break. Where are they celebrating? What are their best recipes? What's something new maybe they're trying on the menu this holiday season. So where are they traveling to? What are they eating? If you need like gift ideas, it's just a great time to call people, text people, engage with people, and not be salesy at all. But of course, we've got the Christmas card opportunities. We've got the pop by opportunities. It's just a great time of year to really love on your sphere of influence. The other thing, and this is one of my common denominators, it's one of my soapbox issues, but it is for sale by owners. I can't tell you how much my business has benefited from working with for sale by owners in 2025, and I just haven't done it enough. I haven't been consistent enough with it, but just looking back on where my opportunities have come from in 2025, the bulk of them have come from working with for sale by owners. So using a for sale by owner, their listing as marketing leverage, right? So people aren't looking at your Facebook page. Okay, I've got an agent that I'm a big fan of in Jasper, Alabama. We've had him on to do one of our guest speaker episodes. It's Jay and Jasper. All right. So some of you may have watched that episode. If you haven't, go to jasonwilluniversity.com and watch the episode on our YouTube channel. But Jay lists a lot of properties and he still is marketing other agents' properties. So I don't know if Jay does a lot with FSBOs or not, but he markets a lot of properties that are not his own. So if you're following Jay Barrett on Facebook and you're like, God dang, he's listing a property every single day, it seems like. But then you look down in the Facebook remarks and it says listing courtesy of so and so at so and so. And so that gives him this kind of, I would say, market visibility as a top agent. I can also establish that in terms of working on my lake house sales specialization by working FSBOs. So I partner with them on a marketing, it's a marketing partnership is what it is. No cost. There's no fees involved. They love that. All they want to know when you ask them like, hey, could you use some marketing support? I can feature it on your home on YouTube. I can make reels, TikToks. I can do the whole thing. I can run a Facebook marketplace ad campaign. I can boost the post. I can blog about it. I can put it on classified sites. In addition to marketplace, I can, still put it on Craigslist. They don't know. I mean, just the more you can come up with where you can put the listing, the better it is for you both. It's really a win-win strategy. And then in some cases, I've developed a relationship with these folks to where we start talking about listing, and I'll just say like, hey, is commission holding you back? Is commission a big deal? Because, I didn't want to be pushy. I just, wanted an opportunity to provide some value to you, and that win-win kind of comes into play because when I'm putting these videos all over Facebook, it's generating attention, and attention is going to lead to opportunities. So there is the value right in there alone, but there's so much other value you can get. You can say, hey, if somebody calls you, if they didn't seem like they had a realtor helping them and it's not really working out, for you, just let them know you got a great person to connect them with that they can trust, that'll work hard for you. But somewhere on down that line is going to be an opportunity to talk about commission. Like what commission would be acceptable for you to take the next step and give me 90 days. So that's pretty much my pitch. It's 90 days and it's the best deal you're ever going to see on commission. So if I get paid 1%, so I listed a house overpriced. This is the beauty of it too, right? I'm so honest about price. I just hammered this seller on price and just brutal honesty, but they wanted to overprice it, throughout from start to finish. 90 days I had it. 90 days was all I needed to pick up 2 opportunities. Okay. One of which I have under contract. One of the other parties is still looking in the 1.3 to 800K price point. So just thing of beauty, right? Working with for sale by owners, working with off-market sellers to generate other opportunities for buyers. Both of those opportunities came off of listing sign calls that were on the dock. The sign was on the dock. So people just drive around going, oh, I want to see what that's worth, or I want to go see that while I'm here on vacation. So it's just a huge win. It was a sign in the ground. Just can't say enough about it. And it just continues. These opportunities continue. I've got a for sale by owner that I'm about to put in the MLS next week. Okay. And so it is a limited service agreement, but man, is it just give me credibility. It gives me marketability. It just gives me a lot of content really to leverage to grow my business. So the formula is very, very simply is your zip code or your city. So Fairhope, FSBO, type that in. When the Zillow link pops up, click on the Zillow link. The seller's phone number will be right there. Maybe pop it in forewarn. See if you can get a first name to use and, just lead off on that first name basis. Super powerful strategy there. I just text them. Forget calling, just text them and go, hey, I just saw your listing on Zillow. And I say, hey, I'm a 20 plus year veteran in real estate. I love working for sell by owners. Typically, they need my help in these areas, like with exposure, getting it as many eyeballs and getting it in front of as many people as possible. And voila, I'll probably be more specific and just say, hey, can I feature your home on my YouTube channel? And then once we get through some very, very minor negotiations, then I'll just say, hey, and in addition to YouTube, I'm going to cut this up into little pieces and, we'll have reels, we'll have TikToks. I can give you all the content to distribute on your own, whatever. You can have it unbranded, the raw files. You can have the branded files with my information on it, which is way better. If you've got somebody sharing your content, it's huge. It is huge. So keep it short and sweet with the offer. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything. You don't have to list. It's no stress, no hassle free. It's hassle free. It's no obligation, nothing to sign, nothing to pay me. You just give me permission in a text or an email to market your home, and let's go from there. So it's a great way to get in front of, like, face to face with the for sale by owner and just develop relationships. Okay. So that's the whole thing that's really important. The marketing does give you what I call the perpetuity effect, where, if you get that content out there on your social platforms, specifically and especially YouTube, it just continues to work for you, right? Continues to work for you. In your networking efforts, it's kind of the same thing. So I would maybe just consider a two-headed monster for starting fast in 2026. FSBOs, you can just go on right now and start creating a list of FSBOs you want to reach out to based on the markets you serve. If you serve multiple zip codes, great. Great. So I'm serving, primarily right now 3 lakes, but I do want to get some activity going on Lake Guntersville. So I'll do Lake Guntersville FSBO, see what pops up, and I will start pursuing these folks. Sometimes when you send the text, this is important, y'all, so listen up. So sometimes when you send the text, they don't reply. All right. And then I will put at the end of my initial text that I will provide samples or examples of my work upon request. And it's just silence, right? A lot of times I will get, oh, I'd love to see an example of your work. Okay. And here we go. We're off to the races. But sometimes I need to follow up. I'll just type in like, hey, following up on my offer from last week to help you with marketing. Again, no cost, no obligation, super easy. It's just a way for us both to gain exposure in the marketplace. Big win-win. It's one of my best things that I do for folks in the community, and they really seem to dig it. And maybe you'll need one more follow-up. I don't typically follow up more than twice after I send the initial text. And then I may call them. I may use a straight to voicemail technology to just leave them a voicemail. But 2 or 3 times, a text, couple texts, 3 max, plus a phone call. That's it. I don't bother them after that, because typically there's so much going on. I'll get somebody, let's say I text 5 for sale by owners. At least one of those, 1 in 5 is going to engage with me and say, well, tell me a little bit more about what you're doing, Jason, or, tell me about this, tell me about that. And I just make sure to let them know. You really got to clarify it. I also want to let them know that they are going to get to preview this content before it goes live so that they're not surprised by any of the content that's in the video. Okay, or they get an opportunity to make changes. That just creates a comfort level, it creates a trust level within this new and budding relationship. So make sure you just let them know. Doesn't cost anything. No obligation. I'm not going to put anything out there for public consumption until you approve it. You review it, you approve it, and when all the changes are made, then it's all hands on deck. We're going to start pumping this stuff out there. And it's just great when you're like, "Oh, I got somebody that wants to see it," or "I had somebody ask me this question." The more you get into conversation with these folks, the better off you're going to be. And then I continue to remind them that I would greatly appreciate their referrals. So if they do their own open house, I'm offering to do an open house for them too. But if they do their own open house, I say, hey, somebody comes in and they're like totally lost. And they're like asking if you know a great realtor, here's a stack of cards I'm going to leave with you, hand them out, get their phone number, give it to me. I'll call them right away. Tell them you got somebody that will treat them like royalty, like family, whatever the case may be. Plug and play your favorite adjective there. All right. So FSBOs and networking, I would really highly advise that you pick some sort of networking activity for 2026 that you're passionate about. We've spoken a lot about this on these calls over the years, and it's just it's one of those things where people just don't do it, right? But I like to market. I like to create videos. I like to create content. So where can I volunteer my time where I'm going to get a maximum benefit? I'm going to meet a lot of people. I'm going to make a lot of contacts. I'm going to get my name out there big time. And as of right now, I am using the midterms, the 2026 midterms. I'm doing political campaign volunteering. So I'm doing shooting content for the candidates. As of late here, I've been doing work for Republicans and Democrats. I am doing some for both, and I can just feel it. People are so appreciative of the content we're putting out. It's just kind of building. They're sending me names, connecting me with people on group chats, texts, like, hey, Jason, meet so and so. They're running for this office, or they're managing this campaign. They'd love to do a podcast or a video shoot, or they're speaking at such and such and want you to come out and get some content for them. So what is it? I mean, do you have a heart for animals? I mean, you could, if you have a heart for animals and marketing, you could help market these animals that need adoption. And I look forward to these networking events because it's not something I despise, like walking into a Chamber of Commerce meeting cold and just looking around going, well, I need to talk to somebody. Who am I going to talk to? I don't really recognize any of these people. But doing something that you're passionate about, you're going to do it consistently. That piece is just going to take care of itself. And it's just going to snowball. It's going to become this big thing that opens a lot of doors for you. So what skills do you have right now that you could offer to the public? And it could be just like promoting small businesses in general, just being like the small business promoter in town. That's what my buddy Colin does. Colin Krieger, we've had him on this program many times. Again, all these episodes are available on jasonwilluniversity.com. Take you right to our YouTube channel. All right, I think I've gone on longer than I wanted to, but one other thing. It is the first week of December. So the first week of December, you should be creating and deploying graphics and posts, deep text, deep dive on the markets that you serve. So the zip codes, the neighborhoods, the communities, the areas, you get my drift here. Where do you sell real estate? What has happened in the last month? How was October different than November? How many sales are pending so far in December? Get that information out. Educate the public, educate to attract. All right, you guys, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We'll pick this up after the New Year. I'm really hoping in 2026 that I will have a strong handful of closings from YouTube. I'm working with a lot of YouTube buyers. Still have yet to close one. So primarily my business right now in terms of building my lake specialization, I'm a realtor.com lead subscriber. Just closed one, realtor.com for $950. Referrals, got a lake referral from an agent in the Florida Panhandle, and then leads that are just coming in through content, calling me directly from YouTube, coming in from Facebook, from some content that I'm putting out there, and it's keeping me like super busy. Between the networking and the FSBOs and the marketing and all of it, I'm just slammed. So I'm feeling like I'm going to have a really busy start to 2026 and a much more productive 2026 because I'm just starting to get all these pieces in place, find my groove in terms of the networking, double down on the lead sources that are working the best and providing the best ROI, and just doing my thing and honing my skills. Learning how to incorporate AI more into my business to provide leverage. That's been huge. I mean, such a time saver. So say what you will about AI, until they start killing us or it starts killing us, I'm going to remain a big fan. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. If you need me, give me a call, shoot me a text, 251 583 9728.